Let's continue, shall we?
It at all. Not when you're threatening to
No.
It's what the language that courtrooms use. Like if they take down all the stuff about me, then I won't deplatform them or attempt to deplatform them. It's like, but I don't mind if they have a go at me. But you kind of do if you're saying that, dude.
Yes, obviously. It's insane. It's crazy. I don't care. No, I really like these guys as long as they don't criticize me.
It's not what he said. He said, don't criticize my wife.
Well, that's not how this works, Jeremy.
Well, it is how it works. He just proved that's how it works.
That's not how it works at all.
And the Meltdown game stream that we'll watch later, he hints at what happened today, by the way. He hints at it. Well, not even hints. He says it clear as day.
Well, which is it? Does he hint or did he say it clear as day? I thought you guys didn't know what was going on.
And let's just say the courting is very forthgiving when it comes to him under attack. So I find, I find that if there have been accusations made that people are making threats to his wife and stuff like that, which they fucking shouldn't,
obviously,
of course,
absolute bang out of order, then present us them thusly.
Yeah, and he still hasn't presented any evidence of this.
So here's another point of contingency. He's like, you thought it was bad before. It's going to be even worse than it ever was. You're putting yourself in danger, your family in danger. They're going to go after your wife. They're going to go after everybody. They're going to harass you so bad. You think it's bad now. And we already saw that this was kind of the veiled threat. You think it's bad now. You've brought upon you the greatest destruction. They're going to go after your family so bad. And then he turns around and says, wait, where's the evidence? If Jeremy says, yeah, you guys are going after my family really horribly. You're saying mean things. You're harassing me and my family. Well, where's the evidence, Jeremy? But you just got done saying that he was going to bring down all this heat. And then he says, you're right, man, all this heat's coming down. Really, where's the evidence? So once again, they just flip-flop. There's never going to be a right answer. Here's the God's honest truth. They don't like Jeremy. They have a content channel where they make fun of people like Jeremy, lolcow, good, bad, or indifferent. Whether his coffee sucks or not, whether he's a cuck or not, this is how they butter their bread. They go after people. They see targets they feel are weak, and they attack them. And they mock them, and they harass them, and they get their fucking fans to do it, or they at least know. I wouldn't just dare say anything to do that. Yeah, you know what you're fucking doing. You know what you're doing. You know your little army goes off and does it. Howard Stern and Opie and Anthony and those guys, the precursors, the shock jocks, they didn't have to say, call up Kathy Lee Gifford and harass her. Once Howard starts in on Kathy Lee, the fans will follow suit. And Howard knows that. And he can get on the air and say, guys, come on, don't be doing that stuff. But he knows what's going to happen. Now, whether he's responsible or not, that's up for, somebody else to decide. I guess that's an individual opinion. But, dude, here that they're appealing to, look, even these bigger channels have a problem with it. And the guy said, hey, you can't be going after people's wives. Oh, no, of course we wouldn't do that. Bullshit.
And this isn't some deranged internet troll, some fucking lunatic. These are guys with big platforms and big channels.
So what? Who cares? If it's fucking Mr. Beast, he has a big channel. I could still disagree with him. Now, I agree with what he said. But still, like his being there's this appeal. Ashton does this appeal to the masses. He likes to look around, just like the schoolyard bully. Right, guys? We're not going to take this, are we? It's like, well, my channel didn't get deplatformed. Yours did, because I wasn't fucking talking shit to somebody. You were. You took the risk. It was your channel that got flagged. So what is this we bullshit?
Okay? Like, some of these guys are millionaires, Jeremy. Okay.
So?
Okay. And they're in good faith asking for you to provide any sort of receipt, any sort of shred of evidence.
Nah, he's really not, though. He wasn't asking Jeremy for receipts. He just said, hey, look, man, you're saying people are harassing your wife. You might want to prove it. But no, they're slotting in this guy's observation as if he's in full agreement with these two clowns.
That any of this is happening to you, which you have not done. And even if you did, it still doesn't justify deplatforming because we are not directing the harassment to you, buddy.
Bullshit. You report on the rumor. Your people dogpile. You even said, well, look at the dogpile. It's going to be so much worse than it was. You thought it was bad now. Well, you just fucking wait. But we don't direct it or anything. Bullshit, you don't. You report it. Your fans know what to do. They jump on it. And then you report on the harassment.
We are not. We have nothing to do with that. We can't control the actions of all the people out there in the world.
No, but you can control your actions.
That you're pissing off through your homosexual actions, my friend. You're acting like a homo.
And how about this, Jer?
You're acting like a homo. What are you acting like? Like, are you acting like a Chad? Look at this guy calling somebody a homo. Worski's had girlfriends. Worski's been around the block a few times. This guy's calling people. He's insulting somebody's wife. You're a cuck. You're a cuck. Now you're a homo. I'm sorry, but you don't have any grounds to say anything about anybody's sex life when you don't have one.
You made your 300th video on Brie Larson, and people were shitting on her on Twitter. Is that your fault that she was harassed on Twitter? Brie Larson?
Well, this is by his logic that he harassed Brie Larson or Alyssa Mercante or any of these other SJW feminist type women that they've been making videos against by the dozens, by the hundreds. It didn't cut the mustard back then, and it won't now. It just won't.
I don't know. They're just
Put in the
blind
work.
spot and the coke.
Savor the reward. Get 2 grams of protein for only 25 calories with the Laughing Cow.
Sorry. Oh my God.
He's the CTO, Chief Tough Officer.
Deplatforming bad.
It's really that simple.
I'm sure they'll have more to say after today, by the way. I'm sure they'll have a lot more to say.
So they called in these three guys as like sophistry, right? So, oh, don't just take our word for it. Let's look at these guys. They're millionaires. They have millions of subscribers. They have way more clout than we do. What's their take? This guy said, yeah, man, I think if you're going to say you're being harassed, like, show some receipts. Nerdrotic just goes, deplatforming bad. Yeah, you see? We're all against you, Jeremy. Like, these guys couldn't give a fuck.
Sure they will, but nobody is on side with deplatforming, Jeremy. Nobody's on side with it.
So what? He's the only YouTuber you can't make fun of on the whole of YouTube. You can make fun of everyone in the world except for him. Oh, okay.
But that's just coming from a guy whose channel's fucking failing. So what is Gary now?
Did you hear that?
Well, maybe Jer shouldn't have insulted these guys and said that their channels were dying and their grifts were failing in order to deflect heat from his own failing business and excuse his own failures. Because now nobody has any incentive to support you because you're a dirty fucking snake who stabs these people in the back at your first opportunity to save yourself. That's what you've done to your friends.
I mean, not really.
And they won't stand for you because you wouldn't stand for them. You threw them under the bus for no reason.
Buddy.
What do I know?
There's a lot more stuff updating right now on
If we
Twitter.
look at his analytics.
That was that. Okay, we have a lot more, guys. So let's continue.
That was kind of a big nothing burger.
We have D-Day. Oh, sorry. We have Shoe on Head here.
Front of the show.
Demanding an apology from Jer. Threatening to deplatform a channel is like threatening to use a nuke in the world of the internet. Completely against the bro code. Every public figure is mocked and their personal lives gossiped about. Shu says, I learn new lore about myself every day, but never threaten to destroy those people's lives. You need to apologize to the casino boys directly and just continue making content your fans want to see.
Now, I agree with that, but honestly, who gives a shit if I agree or if Shoe on Head agrees? And of course, Shoe on Head is going to be against cancellation because their content is always at risk of being canceled by somebody. So, of course, they're going to be like, whoa, the worst thing that could happen is for somebody to get canceled. That's where we draw the line. Yeah, because you're in danger of being canceled. If you had some kind of guarantee, if you did like arts and crafts or something, you probably wouldn't be as strong of an advocate for, And I understand Hambly's a hypocrite, and I get it. And no, I don't think you should deplatform people. But these guys, this constant appeal to the masses, like, oh yeah, look what this person says. Okay, well, I can probably pull up somebody that says you got what you fucking deserved.
Amen. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. This isn't a crazy out there take or a troll take. This is somebody that has a huge platform themselves that's letting you know how the internet works. But you know how the internet works. You should know better than this, Jeremy. You're a Gamergate veteran, meme war veteran, right?
See, they brought up Gamergate several times now. I don't really understand what it has to do with anything.
Right? But you just don't know how anything works. It's okay for everyone else to get fucked with and gossiped about and made fun of. But the moment it happens to you, then you're crying to get people deplatformed like a fucking Randall.
No, well, he wasn't crying about it. He just had you deplatformed. And that's what you're pissed about. If he was crying, oh, these guys should be deplatformed, it'd be yucca, 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 laugh, 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 ha, 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 look at how mad he gets. He can't do anything. Well, he was like, well, as a matter of fact, I can. And it's like, well, that's no fair, no fair, no fair. That's against the rules. Well, maybe talking shit about somebody's family is against his rules.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. And by the way, he's apparently, he's saying here, nothing to do with it. I was at dinner all night. No, you weren't.
Well, then, what about the F-150? But what about the F-150 at your house and all this shit?
We were flagged. Everything went down. And then he posted from inside his house the cards.
Okay, so you demand proof for the F-150. He says he's being harassed, but you don't take his word for it. You say, I need proof. Well, where's your proof that he's the one that flagged your account? I understand he probably did, but where's your proof? How come he has to prove his stance and you don't have to prove yours? You're like, I know he did it. I know it. Okay, if you know he did it, where's your proof? He tweeted from inside his house. He showed cards on his stream. Yeah, he was probably flexing. And like I said, he probably flagged you. But how come he has to present evidence for that he's being harassed, even though you've acknowledged that he is being harassed? Because it can't, quote, get worse if it wasn't happening, right? It can't start raining harder if it's not raining at the moment. So this whole time, you've escalated. Look what you've done. You've made it so much worse on yourself. And then they're like, but we don't really believe you're actually being harassed because you haven't shown any receipts. Now, we're positive you're the one. I know you said you didn't flag anybody, but we know you have. And it's like, okay, well, where's your fucking proof? You don't have any. You're a Spurg. You have two sets of rules. I understand I drag your name through the mud. I understand I'm a piece of shit. We're going to admit that we're a bunch of losers and that we just talk shit on the internet. I mean, that's what we are. But to get us banned, I mean, my God, I can't believe you would do that. Well, of course, you don't have a family. You don't have a wife. That's the line you draw because that's what you care about. You care about your shit talking channel, and he cares about his wife. And now you're seething.